Distinguished Toastmaster Satish Menon, why I continue? Why I continue? Distinguished Toastmaster Satish Menon.
Good morning, everybody. Presentation mastery is the eighth pathway that I'm on the verge of completing in Toastmasters under the pathway program. A lot of people have asked me, why do you want to complete each and every path? What do you gain from it? Informally. Okay. And I've always told people that for me, taking every path and progressing on that path is always a reflection of whatever I've done in Toastmasters and outside of Toastmasters. Every path, 21 speeches gets you a chance to reflect on different facets of your Toastmasters journey and your professional and personal journey, and then see what is it that you learned from each of that. Because the beauty is each path allows you to present a different speech, each path allows you to learn something new, and each path also allows you the flexibility to give a speech again. Because there is nothing in Toastmasters that say that you cannot repeat a speech. You can repeat it for as many times as you want. So it gives you that flavor of giving the same story in a different flavor over and over again. As I continued through this path, it's not that I started presentation mastery just last month. It's been some time since I started that pathway. And as I progress through that journey, what I've learned is in the last 1 year in Toastmasters, though no, I was not holding any district role, but I was very regular to both my club meetings. And there's a lot that you can learn in a club meeting where you can't learn anywhere else. Obviously, the club gave me that forum to present my thoughts, my speeches. At a different level, I was told to be a voting judge and a chief judge in many contests. This was before I filed my nomination for the region advisor, after which I had to stop taking on those assignments because when you are a region advisor candidate, you cannot go and do any judging positions or any speaking roles uh, till the time the result is announced. The result is not yet announced, so that's one more update. But whenever I did those judging assignments, it was a great learning for me. For the simple reason is you go to different clubs and you learn a lot from people when you hear them in the speech contest. Now, if you go to so many speech contests, there's a lot of speeches that you will hear. Different type of speeches, different genres, different way of presentation, different styles that people will use. And that itself was something which stayed with me for a long time. It's not about telling there who won the speech or who did not win, because every speech contest needs to have a winner anyway. But what struck me was the real clarity of ideas that used to come around from people, and that was something which was a good learning. Everybody in their mind has a lot of ideas. Everybody wants to express a lot of things in a different manner. But how effectively are you equipped to present that? A good story only becomes a good story when it is presented well. A good book becomes a good book only when you like reading what is written there. It might be very good on facts. It might have a lot of information which you like, but if it is not presented well, you are not going to read that book. If you go watch a movie could have a very good ensemble of actors, a movie could have a great director, but unless the story is not presented well, you are not going to like the movie. You're not going to watch a movie exclusively for an actor. Some people may do, okay. But over a period of time, the success of the movie is only based on how effectively that movie managed to capture the hearts of the audience. And that's what something which I learned during that my entire journey through presentation mastery, which said that how effectively can you present something depends on how effectively can you communicate your thoughts to the audience. And that requires a lot of preparation. All of us in our heart of hearts think that we are good communicators, and there is nothing wrong in that. Everyone has the right to believe that they are a good communicator. But is the world perceiving you in that way? So if you go stand on a stage and talk, everybody thinks they have done their best, and which they should, okay? Because only then I would say half the battle is when you believe in yourself. That a lot of times the effectiveness needs to say that that was a good speaker, but why did that speaker not win? A classic example was the World Championship of Public Speaking. I was there to witness it in person. All the speakers were very good, but the person who won, some people were saying the other person should have won, not this person. Okay, but then end of the day, it was all about how well that person communicated, how well that person took his idea and presented it in front of an audience. Yeah. Others, all their speeches were good. Nobody had a bad speech, but how effectively your communication was. That is the essence of presentation mastery. Like how effectively you communicate. And during the course of my journey, by on completing this pathway, that is something that I've learned. You could have very good content with you. You have very great ideas with you. But if those ideas are not communicated in a proper manner, you will lose the intended audience or whoever that you are trying to kind of get an impression on. It could be at work if you're trying to pitch for a project. It could be for a potential customer where you are trying to win a contract. It could be with your boss where you are trying to get the promotion. It could be with your friends where you are trying to get the promotion. It could be with a where you are trying to where you are trying to kind of address a situation. It could be with a customer where you are trying to explain a crisis situation. It could be at home where you are trying to be part of uh, what I would say connect with your family, your friends, or relatives. Everything, the essence is how do I communicate better? So that's something which all of us need to kind of develop as we go. And that comes only through practice, is what I've learned. If you don't practice, you're not going to get it anytime. Even the great champions that I've seen on the world stage, they have practiced for so many years. Some of them have contested for multiple times before to get on to the finals. So the learning is in this pathway for me is it's all about practice. It's all about doing what we want to do. It's all about being consistent. It's all about making our journey very effective. How can the journey be made effective? There is no book to it. If there was a book written, everybody would be a champion. Right? It's all about practicing. It's all about understanding your audience. It's all about saying what is it that they want to hear. It's all about saying that am I clearly communicating to people what they want to hear? If you can tell people, get to the hearts of people and make them feel that they are hearing what they want, you have achieved your mission. It's not about saying what you want to say. You want to say is important. Is that what you want to say is what they want to hear is again something which is very, very important in a journey of presentation mastery. So if you, each one of us can work on that effectiveness, each one of us can understand what our audience wants. Audience, as I told, be anybody, your boss at work, family members, spouse, children, siblings, anyone. Okay, if you can understand what they want, and if you can speak what they want, communicate what you want, that itself, you will ensure that you have won your journey of communication to be a more effective communicator. So that's been my most important learning from this journey. And that journey only happens if you are consistent in whatever you do. And by consistency, I mean thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster Ram.
So I'd be evaluating I will be providing the report, evaluation report for uh, DTM Satish Menon sir on his speech. Yeah, so as usual, his speech today changed the perspective, and three key things I would say stood out from his speech. The first one, he shared his personal experience. So whenever you share a story, naturally people connected to it. Okay, it's not that they need an attention, they need not ask anything from the audience. The moment a story is shared, it is easily relatable. People can easily connect, and he by explaining why he did not took the region advisor, and then what he gained and what he lost, right? So he both explained, and he wanted to listen to many speeches, attend different clubs and many speeches, so that he can learn out of them, right? So that experience he's had, and we were able to connect that, right? So that's one thing, sharing personal experience and story. And then relatable content, right? So I think he also explained about when he attended international speech contest, and then how people perceive about winning, right? So some say, I think that the other person must have, gifted with first prize or something like that. But still, he brought a perspective. The perspective he brought was how effectively are you communicating the message matters the most than anything else. So even there, he changes our perspective. Even every time somebody, either they derail with their opinion, or we ourselves overthink, and we can ask this question: have we done our best to communicate the message, right? So that will console ourselves. So I think this is relevant content and relatable to us. And message is the message that he wanted to communicate, and it's a actionable content. The message, the speech he gave is would definitely would make us active, or take action on our speeches. The first thing, it's all about practicing. In one line, he's throw that message. It's all about practicing and understanding the audience and say what the audience want to hear. Right? Three key messages we shared as part of the speech: clean, delivery. In terms of improvements, I would say the technical glitches was there. I was not able to listen to some of the part of the speeches. That's one. And second, any speech, what I observed was the speech provider asked question to the audience. They tried to interact with the audience. Maybe one or two questions, some interaction. The reason is the brain will get alerted. Oh, this question will maybe to me, what is this question is going to get an answer, right? This curiosity is getting invoked when a question is asked. So it is extremely important to be connected with the audience throughout the speech. So questions and humor and a few other things are key. Body language. The three things are very key things to connect with the audience. Probably you can incorporate those things also as part of the message. It will be extraordinary, right? So that's the perspective. Overall, definitely it's a thought-provoking and perspective-changing speech by DTM Satish Menon sir. Thank you so much.